la, la, la. Good morning, everybody, and how are you? My name's Iris Smith, and I'm the owner of a small business called The Flower Patch, where I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Welcome, guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope wherever you are around the world, the sun's shining and you're all enjoying the wonderful weather. Right, today we're going to do a vase arrangement, or a pot arrangement, should I say. Last week I had a lovely lady, Linda, who was the lady who told me about the weaving needles, has said that she has got some bird of paradise artificial ones, which she doesn't really know what to do with them, and if I could do an arrangement or something, you know, to show her, to give her an idea. So I did say to her, you know, I'm waiting on an order. I have got some. I've only got 3 left. I'm still waiting. I've ordered some more. So I'm going to use the 3 that I've got left. And what we're going to do, we're going to place it in a little pot like this. You could put it in a vase or a vase if you wish, or, you know, have it like a centerpiece on the table. But I thought, you know, we did like the scarecrow yesterday on a front facing arrangement, so let's do one in a plant pot. So, and this could also go in the house, you know, it doesn't have to be outside. It's just a plain black one. Let's have a look. It's 7 inches high, and I don't know how wide. Oh, it's 6 inches across here or here. So I've placed in some dried foam, and I've got my reindeer moss. Now, guys, I buy the reindeer moss, but I don't buy a lot. I do love it. I like the Spanish moss as well. You could use that if you've got that as well. But I buy the reindeer moss because it's, you know, I like the green colour of it. I've had this in my bucket, little pot, just a little big, you know, sealant bucket. And that has been in there, and you can see I've hardly used it. It was really pushed in tightly, and that's been there for at least 2.5, 3 years. And as I open it, you can smell the moss. It is wonderful, and it is still green. So it's not dried moss. It is, oh, it smells lovely, very earthy. It is, you know, and real moss as well. Just if you want some, just look up reindeer moss, or and place it in a sealed tight container like this. What you'd probably put food in, and just pop it in and leave it. It's not going to dry out. Just keep it in a, you know, place where it's out of direct sunlight, and it will stay that colour for as long as you need it, or leave it, doesn't matter. So again, 2 or 3 years. I don't really use it a lot, but mine's still green, and it still smells of that earthy moss smell, which I love. Don't know what it is, but I love it. So I placed in some foam, and then placed on my moss and put some floral pins, or moss pins as we call them in the UK, to hold down the moss in the foam so it just doesn't drop out. So that, instead of using wreath wrap, that is my coverage for this arrangement. So what we're going to do, or should I say use, I've picked out, well, I say picked, I've chopped these off the stem, some of my laurel, and I'm going to try and make it slightly where it's got, you know, more tropical foliage in than, or bigger, more solid leaf foliage than just putting filler foliage in. So I've got the laurel, which has got a bit of red in it, and it does spread open, as you probably can see. So that's going to use quite a bit of room up, but it looks nice because it's long and it's slim, but it's in a little bunch. So we've got that. I've taken out, I've got 5. I don't know why I took 5 out, but I've got these in abundance. And when I say in abundance, guys, my husband's even taken about 7 of them and put them on the garden, but the ones he's taken come in I don't know, I can't remember the word for it, but like it's an actual plant with just one stem and then several of the leaves coming off of it. And then I've also got some singular leaves, but I have got lots. Palm, our palm. Some people call it fern. Over here it was known as, palm leaves. So we've got some of those as well. I've got them in different shades or tones, but I decided to get the dark green where it goes slightly lighter at the tip up here. So we've got 5 of those. I have got out some of my foxtail fern though, because of the height and how long they are as well. I may put them in, I may not, because in replace of it as well, I want to put these in. Not sure which ones. I have got some long, thin, wired grass, and they are long. They will add to the arrangement. So I've got them in that one, and I've got one where I had something in the center. I think it was 3 flowers. So I've used the flowers, kept this, and I may place this one in as well. And then I've also got some wider ones, and these are the leaves from the gladioli. So when I last used them, I think I broke one there. When I last used them, I took the leaves off and then placed them on single picks and saved them. So again, for the height and the slim, long length, I've got the gladioli out as well. I've also got out some, now are these called, I always get them mixed up, are they called monstera leaf? But I've got those again, which look, are wide, look a bit more of a tropical leaf. I think they're the monstera, but excuse me, sometimes we call something similar to this like a cheese plant. So you could use those instead as well. But I've got those out. And then I've also got out some elephant ears, the variegated one as well, for the full solid leaf. I'm not looking for, wispy foliage at the bottom. It's all solid this time. I've also got out some 3 anthuriums in the white and the lime green. So I've got 3 of those out. The stems are really long, and I'm going to incorporate those as well. Again, as you can see, it's solid leaf. For our floral, I've got out 3 limey coloured green orchids, and I want to place these, maybe 2 in, 3 in. I know I'm going to be placing them in, and in a lovely lime green with a bit of red in the center. What's the colour on the bird of paradise? I've also got, because there's orange on the bird of paradise, I've got some astrolomera, and I may put that at the bottom. I'm not really sure. I was looking at it, guys, and the other orange floral that I picked, I took out and had a look, just didn't go with what I've picked out for this arrangement. And I've looked at because these got like a little cluster of 3. They could go at the bottom as a cluster, and they was the only ones what seemed to suit it better. I've also, of course, guys, got out with the long grass, my wispy calla lilies for the movement. I only want a little movement. So I don't want to go too crazy with, as much as I love it, the calla lilies. I've also got the big rubber calla lilies down here, or the real touch, should I say. I've chopped them down, but then I decided I'm not sure whether I want them or not now. But I have got those ones as well for backup. So they are on the floor amongst the other odd bits as well. I did take out some lilies. Now they looked really pretty. Again, I would place these at the bottom of this, of the pot around the center, because the bird of paradise is going to be the tall focal point. And coming to our bird of paradise, I have got the three what I've got left, and they've got on the stem the red, brown, and then obviously you've got your orange and your purple, hence the reason I got out the purple calla lilies and the purple lilies. So that is what we've got to use today to create a lovely arrangement for dear lady Linda, and we're going to show her what you could achieve with just some bird of paradise. Some people tend to find it quite hard because it's the way the flower is at the top, that they don't, have, especially when it comes to placing them in wreaths. What should they put with it in a wreath? Just the sort of things that I've got out, things like that. Make it look like a tropical wreath. You could do that. And again, make a table centerpiece, put them in the, on there, make it quite long and just higher in the center, or in a vase or a vase, or again, just in a little container like this. So I'm going to bring the camera down and we're going to get cracking and see what we can produce. So one moment. I'm not going to bring it down too far, guys, because if the bird of paradise is going to be tall, I'm wanting you to see what I'm going to do, or see that you can see it instead of it being hidden, either at the bottom or at the top. So first of all, I'm going to place in the bird of paradise. Usually I start with the greenery. On this occasion, I want to get those set in straight away, so then I can work around those. So, and I've got a feeling, guys, I know these are going to be really hard to cut. So when you look at your pot, they usually say do your highest point on your florals or foliage, whichever is going to be the highest point, 1.5 times the size of the pot. So that's one size. So then I go half. Oops, let me just grab the pot. Then I go halfway up there. Well, I'll start here. Should I say, let's get it right. There's one and then half. And that's where I need to cut my longest stem. So we will cut it. If I can. Fingers crossed, guys. Oh, it wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. So that is going to be our highest point. If you have a taller stem, obviously it can be taller. Now, when you've got moss in, just be careful how much glue you place on. If you put too much on, as you're pushing it in, the glue will sit on top of the moss. So if you just try not to overdo it with your your glue, sorry. So then I'm not doing all these on the same height. I'm bringing them down in size, and then I'm going to have one around here. So let's try and cut this one. Now that one's facing off to the right, so I'm going to bring this one facing off to the left, but just a little bit smaller. You can make it look taller by placing the heads up slightly. And then this one is going to be shorter. And we're going to place that coming forward. In fact, I'm going to do it this side. And this one's smaller than the other one. So if I do it that way instead. So that is now our bird of paradise placed in for me to work around. So what I wanted to do is get a palm leaf and come out from the left side. I don't want these leaves on the moss, so I'm wanting to pull them off, or get your snips. If you have trouble with your hands and you have health issues, just get your snips and cut them. I'm only wanting it to come out about here because it's a, you know, not a long pot, so I don't want it to stick out here and look too odd. I've got to you know, go with the size of that of the bird of paradise. So I'm going to take a couple more off. And I'm going to cut the stem. I think about there, yeah. So I'm going to do another one like that. I'm going to measure it alongside, so I know where to pull the leaf. So all of those. And let's cut the stem the same length. So now with this, I'm going to place it in and bend it down. So it's just coming out from the side. Like that. And do it the opposite side as well. I'm pushing it in to where the last leaf is on the palm. So you have that, like wings. Now you can bring it on this side as well, or you can have this arrangement facing the front. So I'm going to take and do the same here. At the back. I do want one tall. I've made this one a little bit shorter than the others because I don't want it sticking out as much. Let's see how much I want there. Let's take excuse me. place one just at the back behind the bird of paradise. Now I could bring this one here at the front. I'm going to hold on to that. Now we're going to be bringing in our foliage around as well. And we're just going to place it so it sits like the palm. And it doesn't matter if you cross them slightly over, like I have done there. Oops, I've wiped all the glue off. I've done it again. Because we're going to incorporate some of these in as well and under here. So I keep wiping the glue off. Silly me. So we're going to have some slightly a bit higher. I'm not having them all, you know, flat. We want to give movement. And I'm going to bring one under the palm. So you've got it like that. We're creating like a plant pot type look, you know, if you've bought a plant for indoor, you're inside your house. So I'm going to add some of that in. I'm going to bring some above. I don't want them all just being around the bottom. So we're going to bring this one near the front as well. You could use aspidistra as well. And a bit of the colour there. I may bring one more under here. Just so it's just with some of the monstera. So there you have your variegated elephant ears. So now I want to add in some grasses. Now I've got somewhat of cut. I want these again in the centre. Let me just take some of this. I have to do it with the scissors. They've not got a stem on, but you can feel the wire inside. So I'm going to cut the rubber away from the wire. So we're going to add in some grass. And I'm adding in different lengths. I'm not placing it all at the same length. And, you know, just manipulate it. Got a smaller one. Or we could create a smaller one if we need to. Or if you don't have these, you could just use, you know, the grass bunches or the onion grass. Lean them off as well, going off to the side. Oh, I'm going to get a couple of the small ones. Bring those just to the front. And place them in. That. Let me just have a look. I think I'll get one more of these ones. And then I'm going to bring that one in the middle there. And as you can see, they're all different lengths. I don't want them to look too, you know, straight and uniformed. I may not use that one because I've got the ones from the gladioli. So I want to be adding in just a few of these as well. The slightly broader. Let's get that glue string, I can see. Oh, let me just not forget my drink, guys. This is a front facing arrangement, but I'm still placing some foliage around the back to give it, you know, to fill in and make it not look like it's forgotten about. Still placing your foliage at the back. So I'm going to bring one and just bend that one over at the front. I don't need the pole. This is going to be a very quick video, but it's very good for like beginners as well, just to create something beautiful, but you know, not as much elements. Oh, I broke that one. Yeah, I broke that one as well. My goodness. I think I need one there, yeah. And I'm just going to bring one, taller one at the front as well. So as you can see it at the back, so you've got that at the back, which is slightly higher. If I just manipulate that one down a little bit so it's leaning slightly over. So you've got that then at the front. Doesn't that look pretty? So I've got two more. Shall I place them in? I may place them in along with the palms. Do the same. So where you see the palms coming out here at the sides, I'm going to place the gladioli leaf as well. So that can come out from the side also. So you've got it like that. Doesn't that look pretty? Now let's have a look at our laurel. I won't want all of them in, just the odd one or two. And this is just filling up, as you can see, the bottom. And then I may just bring one at the front, just in front of here. So then you've got that. I don't need any more because they are quite chunky and we don't want them to hide everything. Now we'll see about those. These are going to be added in here as well. I may place two together on one side like that, and then place one on the opposite side. On this occasion, I don't need to think about the triangular position. Or I could. In fact, I'll bring one up, guys. Let's just have a look. Not that side. Let's do it a bit longer with one of these. So I'm going to get one of the anthuriums instead, and I'm going to place it slightly off center and leaning outwards, but just short of the height of the bird of paradise. I don't want it too high, but I want it behind or in between these two here. So you've got that effect. And then now I can bring, I could have one there. So let's just cut that one a little shorter. Just lean that over. So it's just leaning outwards, not too much. And then the other one, I'm going to bring down. So let's cut that one. If you've got long stems and you cut it off and you have this left, save those, guys, because they do come in handy. Let's see. Yeah. Excuse me. I'm going to place that one lower if I can. Get it down. And I may bring just the odd foliage around it so it's underneath the arrangement. So they're now our anthuriums to sit in. Now let's just look at our orchids. Now I want the orchids to come and just dangle a couple down at the front, just to give a little bit of, you know, length at the front and a bit of floral. As I say, bring a bit of floral at the bottom. If I think it's too long, I will pull off the heads like that and cut that, because I've got a feeling, yeah, so I may take two off, cut those off. And save those. I could put those on picks or just leave them out. So let's just have a look. Right, I'm going under the if I can push it right in. Let's just have a look. And I want that just coming out there. So I'm going to do the same with these. And I'm going to do this one around here on the opposite side where the palm is. I'm not having them both in the same position. I do want them one probably higher or one, you know, than the other, and just some slightly offset from what the others are, in a slight lower position. But, so if you can see what I mean, there's not really much difference, but there's a very, very slight difference. This one's slightly higher on the left. I could bring that at the back because it's tall, but I think that will take away the bird of paradise. So I'm not going to put another one in. Now, I've placed one on a pick because I pulled it off and I put some of the stem with me. Now the floral I'm going to be sitting, I can show you around there, just in between, some maybe around the bottom here, with the calla lilies. I've placed one on a pick to elongate it because I was thinking I may just have a bit of that purple behind the palm. Again, I don't want too much. This arrangement's more of, you know, simplicity. It's minimalistic. It's not overpowering by, you know, filling it right up with florals and foliage. By using your big foliage, you covered all of your, you know, where your foam is, even though I've placed moss on anyway, but I've placed the moss on to give it that natural look. So let's get this lily in, and I'm going to place the lily, yeah, there. And again, I don't want to have it going up. I don't want it, you know, where it's going to be up here. These is the main tall focal piece. The rest of them are at the bottom, going to be mid section to the bottom of the arrangement. So when I say that, I mean just place it a little bit more in down here. Now I've got a bud. This is where that other one fell off, and I did think about placing one up there at the start, but I'm not gonna do it because again I want it to stay at the bottom all of our floral. I may place this on a pick if I can. I can't see. I've got glasses on and I can't see. I think that may need to come out. And a pick placed in. So I'm going to bring one of the buds off here as well. Oh, I don't know what's up with these clippers. So I'm just going to, yeah, I'll place it here, just where the anthurium is. So we've got it there. Again, I don't want to overpower it with too much of the same colour, you know, or floral, because it's just a very minimal arrangement. Oh, it's a daisy. I'm just going to have a look where it would sit better, because that's the centre point. Yeah, I think around there. So we'll do the same with this. Looking at where the central point is of the arrangement. Bring this one slightly forward a little bit more, so it's not, again, in line, so it's just sat lovely at the bottom. Now, these are a bit unsure about the Astrolomera. They do look nice. I do need some orange in to match with the colours that I have. I may just place one in again, guys. It's just for the keeping in with the simplicity. I can't place these on picks either, so do I? That seems to be a bit more fluffy. This one's got five flowers on, so I may use that one. And what I'm going to do with that one, oh, they're not very strong. Where you've got the lilies in the centre, I'm going to want to bring I don't know whether to bring it there. Let's just place it in. What do I? Something's telling me yes, to place it just there. So if we can do that, just bend that a little bit. I think the lily's throwing me because it's not, you know, centered. Do I do it so it's, I'm just having a play, guys. I'm going to sit it about there at that height in mid section. I don't want it any higher, so we're going to go in around here. Let me just come forward with it. I think it wants pushing in a little bit more. The stem is not very clever. Bring a bit of the foliage through. So we've created that. I'm not going to add any more in with the orange, because I want the orange to be noticed from the bird of paradise. I don't want the Astrolomera to have the focal point, with it being such a vibrant colour. Now again, with these small ones, I can dot these around the back just to give a bit of colour around the back. Now let's have a look with our colours. Again, I could bring the odd one around the back. Yeah, let's bring just the odder one around at the back of the arrangement. Again for the colour, and I'm letting it, this piece here, just hang loosely, giving it that movement. And I'm going to bring another one around the back. And let that do the same. So you've got that movement of colour around the back. You don't need a lot. I may have another one, to be quite honest. And because they're push-ups, I can lengthen it so they're not all on the same height. Again, I don't like them on the same height on this occasion with this arrangement. So I'm going to go under to about there. So that one is there. So I'm going to then, because I've got them at the back, let's just have a look. They all, let's push it up and give it that length. Yeah, I'm going to place one coming off from the side at the front there. Again, because they're so airy, they're not as noticeable. That's a daisy. I'm just trying to position the flowers so they sit where they look like some of the flowers are leaning over. Yeah, and I'm going to place that one a little bit shorter and push it in a little bit more. So you've just got the tips of the calla lilies popping out there. I could place one, if I push that right up. It's always the centre stem, if you've noticed, that tends to be longer. I'm going to place one behind the Astralimera, and then I'm not going to place any more in. I mean, I've got one left. Let me just pull out this Astralimera, guys. It's a bit too long, the stem. And I'm going to place it back in the same position, but I just think the stem was slightly too long. So we've got that. So I've got the last one, so I think we should use it, but I'm going to bring it, I think, around back around the back area. It's a little shorter, so I'm going to bring it under here, I think. Or do I? No, I'm going to pop it just offset there. It's going to have a deeper, it's going to push it deeper in, so it's just a few little pieces popping up. So that is our calla lilies. I'm just going to see if we could add in the odd ones of these. Foxtail fern. Let's see about the colour at the back. Yeah, and we'll add in these on picks as well. It's only 4. So that's those four. Let me get the glue now off my fingers. So before we put the foxtail fern in, I'm going to add in a bit of this orchid at the back. Again, I'm using it as, you know, depth. I don't want it popping out too much because that's not the design that I'm going for. I want them down amongst the foliage. Bring one underneath as well. Let's have a look. Now I think one there, just where the laurel is. So we've got just those sat around the back. So now we're going to just put a few of these foxtail fern because they give you like the length, like the grass. Just have some coming out for movement. Lean them. Have a couple at different heights as well. Like I have here in around the centre. This is higher than this one. Bring it offset as well and lean it outwards. I'm not going to place any under the bottom because it's not that design where I want them around the bottom. That doesn't look right sticking up, so let's place one right at the back as well with the grasses, so I don't need any more. So guys, that is just a simple, basic or minimalistic arrangement. That was quick, wasn't it? For, you know, for if you've got some bird of paradise and you want to see it in a pot, or you know, with a few more foliage and flowers with it, so you've got it looking just like that with a few bits of like things that look tropical. Let me just make sure that I'm not hiding the bird of paradise, that they are forward. So yes, so that is our arrangement completed for the lovely Linda, to give her an idea on what to use with the bird of paradise. If you wish, you could place in roses as well. Let me just bring the camera up a little bit. Let's just bring it here. So you could place in, if you want roses, I was going to place in proteas or you could have, you know, thistles and things like that added in. I haven't got any orange thistle, otherwise I would have used it. You know, you could place in spider mums and things. Even for your foliage, you could add in some fern, you know, like crocodile fern, you know, just for a bit of, instead of the palm. If you haven't got the palm, you know, maybe you want to put the fern in instead of the palm. If you haven't got anything like your anthuriums, these here, then you could, you know, get something like an aspidistra. Or actually, I did get out. I didn't use it. I chose against it because it was just it does look quite nice. Some of these little palms as well. These are foam. There's several different sizes. Let's have a look. Oh, I don't know. One of those might look nice in it. I quite like that little one there. Have I got another? Oh, I've got another smaller one here. I'm gonna, if I show you with that one, because that's only on a small stem, just there. So you could have some of these. So I'm going to place one in, just one in there. I don't want any more. Just going behind. I think these are rubber, you can't get them. Let me cut the rubber so I can get the stem in. There we go. I'm just going to place this I've just placed that in just there. I mean, the little one here I could place at the back and just have one at the back as well. I think I will place that there. I don't want it really seen. I don't want to take away what's in the back. So we've just hidden that one in there. So yes, I've got those as well. Again, if you've got any sort of palm, you could even, if you wanted to add in some big magnolia leaves as well, that would look pretty. Again, aspidistra. Oh, long-leaved willow. That would look pretty in it because it's long. Again, if you look for the leaves and like things like this that are long in and slim as well, and then if you've got elephant ears or, you know, things along these lines, or monstera, you know, add those in around the bottom, not at the top, because this is your base and these are like acting like support for the rest of the flowers to sit up on top of, but at the same time giving you that lovely effect as well. And then just like if you want adding some wispy bits, if you don't want to add those in, you know, but you've got calla lilies of the bigger size, the real touch, you could, you know, add them in as well. So they, and then droop over, so they look quite nice. I was going to add those in till I decided on the smaller ones. but you can add the calla lilies in. You know, you could put some in the front here as well, so you could do that. I've got quite a lot of things down here, guys, that I was trying to think of. And then I've got these alliums. You see, they would add a nice texture if you didn't want any floral and you just wanted things like, you know, floral like the lilies. You just have alliums. You could have these if you got them in different colours to go with the colours on the bird of paradise, and just pop them in as well. Give that, you know, a different look as well. Yeah, I won't add those in now. I've got the lilies in because it doesn't go with them. What else? I have got fern down here, but I decided on, you know, I'm not going to add it in. But other than that, guys, that is our wonderful bird of paradise arrangement. What looks really pretty and would sit lovely on your window, you know, or, you know, even on a table, coffee table, on top of your fire, you know, maybe offset to the corner, on a little table in your entrance hallway, you know, or even in, you know, in your kitchen, if you wanted it in your kitchen for a bit of colour as well, and that would look really pretty. So I hope, Linda, that this helps. What you could, you know, put them with. Now, if I use the bird of paradise, and then I would have started using floral like, carnations, chrysanthemums or dahlias, tulips or anything like that, it would have took off or taken away the bird of paradise look, because again, it is supposed to look like a tropical plant. So if you get these bird of paradise, then, you know, try and add in floral and foliage what are look tropical. I know the lilies don't look tropical, but they just add that little bit extra in, you know, because you can. That's why I haven't placed a lot in, because I didn't want it looking too much like more of a bouquet or arrangement or something like that. And then by adding orchids in as well, and the anthuriums, and just thin grasses, you know, give off that tropical, slight tropical feel as well. And it doesn't look out of place with the bird of paradise. So that's why I suggest, you know, I suggested, or suggest, should I say, to not put things in like ruscus. Let me think. I can't remember names of foliage now. Ficus and things like that, because you know, you're not making that sort of an arrangement. It has to look with, add in some things that look slightly tropical or are tropical. So again, I hope that helps, and I hope then that gives you an idea, Linda, on what to do. So if you'd like to have a go, guys, you know, have a go. It's great. It's a good challenge, you know, for people who've not done anything like this before, and they're used to doing it using, you know, summer flowers or, you know, spring flowers or anything like that. It's good to try and challenge yourself to do something like a tropical arrangement or anything like that. Or, you know, you could have added in cacti or anything like that, and, you know, you'd be pleasantly surprised how different it looks, but still beautiful. So, and again, use the colours what's in the bird of paradise, because they are the statement piece of the arrangement. So with this having purple on, a bit of orange and green, that's what I decided to add in. So it all blends together and it balances out lovely. And then with your foliage, you use some darker foliage, use some with, you know, variegated, and use somewhat slightly lime in colour like this. use your grasses, slim ones, slightly wider ones, like I've used the gladioli in it, you know, to give that different look of just having the thin grass. Add in some onion grass, you know, things like that. That would look pretty. And just enjoy it, guys. Have fun, because it's lovely to do something different. So when Linda sent me this message, I'm thinking, oh, fabulous. So I've done many of them, but you know, I haven't really done any videos on them. But once my friend Linda sent me the message, I was overwhelmed, and I'm thinking, oh, I can't wait. So I planned to do it for today. I did tell her I would. It will probably be I think I told her it may be end of this week. So yes, I like that. I'm just trying to think where I can put it in my house. Maybe at the top of the stairs, on a little table. So enjoy it, guys. Please subscribe, share, and like. You know, to everybody who you know, to people you know who want to come along or want to watch somebody create flower arranging in different elements, using different elements and different styles and designs, and then maybe it gives or inspires yourself or other people to give it a go and try something different, because it's not all about just one style. There's many styles out there, guys. So, and it's fun to learn them. So have a wonderful day. Again, press that subscribe button, please, and you know, press the bell so you get notified when I've done a video, and enjoy them. So have a great day, guys, with this lovely weather, and you know, don't get too much sunburn. We don't want you being poorly and overeating. Drink plenty of water, look after yourselves, and I won't be here tomorrow. It's my busy day. So have a wonderful weekend as well, and I will be back on Monday. So take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bye-bye. So let's just get the cabling off, bring it in. Oh, here we have the same trouble, guys. I don't know what it is with my phone. There. So there's the bird of paradise. Just there with the purple and the orange. And then there's a little foam. It's just foam, guys. Palm, that's a different palm. You've got your Astralomera, which is the orange. Your beautiful purple lilies. Again, I've only put 2 big heads and 1 bud in. I didn't want to do it with the lilies. There's your anthurium. And then we've got your foxtail fern. You've got your thin grass. You've got your gladioli leaf. Your lovely palm at the back as well. And your lovely orchids where they've got the buds on the end. You've got your monstera. Your variegated elephant ears. Oh, and I can't forget these, can I, guys? The wispy bits. Oh, my favourites. The calla lilies. Just to add a little bit of colour at the back. And then our laurel, which is, again, a solid leaf. So think of, you know, incorporating solid leaves as well, everybody. And have fun when you create it. So take care, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. And I shall see you all on Monday. Bye for now.